Texas football produced a shakier win than the scoreboard would suggest, as the offense struggled a bit against UTEP, while Texas volleyball made a strong case for that number one spot after taking down their third straight ranked opponent, beating Arizona State on Sunday. And over on the soccer field, the Longhorns have started SEC play. We'll dive into all of this and more on College Press Box. Good evening and welcome to the second episode of College Press Box for the 2025-26 school year. I'm Natalya, Shelton, hosting with Emma Wallace tonight. Before we get started, we want to remind you that College Press Box is brought to you by Cap Metro, Austin's transit system. We connect you to work, school, play, and everywhere in between. Plan your ride to this weekend's game at capmetro.org. Well, this past Saturday, Texas hosted the UTEP Miners in their second home game of the season, and they look to extend their streak after a Week 2 win against San Jose State. Here's what Santiago Ortiz had to say after the Longhorns' 27-10 win.
The Texas Longhorns took on the UTEP Miners in what was the second home game of the season for them. Following their loss to Ohio State, the team struggled to find their offensive ways against San Jose State, leaning heavily on their defense. The same was to come from this game. In the first half, Texas leaned on Arch Manning's legs. He punched in a 2-yard run early and then added a 5-yard scoring run just before halftime to put the Longhorns up 14-3. But the passing game continued to look shaky. The 5-star Manning went through a stretch of 10 straight incompletions, and he was picked off in the end zone and even drew boos from a home crowd that once loved him so much. On defense, Texas did what they needed, holding stout, keeping UTEP to just 259 yards total and keeping them to 3 points throughout most of the game. UTEP's offense was able to move the ball down the field, but never quite found its rhythm to punch it into the end zone. In the fourth quarter, Texas sealed the game as Manning threw a short touchdown pass to Ryan Wingo, helping stretch the lead, in what was the final score of 27-10. Here's what Coach Sarkisian had to say about the Longhorns after the game.
So it was good to win. I'll start with that, right? It could be worse, we could lose.
The Longhorns look to continue their winning ways next week at 7 p.m. against Sam Houston State back here in DKR. For TSTV Sports, I'm Santiago Ortiz, signing out.
Was as the Longhorns snagged their second win of the season. Let's go for the first time to Emma to help break down more from Texas's win. Emma?
Thanks, Nat. I'm here with Aidan Urbach to talk more about Texas football. Welcome, Aidan. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing better, Emma. Better than I was Saturday at 7 p.m. since I had time to calm down after UT's upsetting performance. I think since the show aired, you might have gotten a different reaction out of me.
Well, I have to agree with you on that one, but since we've both had some time to calm down, let's dive into this weekend's game. So our defense has been great for us all season long. What role did they play in helping us secure the win against the Miners?
Well, they played an emphatic role. I think props to head coach or defensive coordinator Pete Kwiatkowski and his impressive playing calling. UTEP prides itself on running the ball effectively, as they were able to average 8 yards against UTEP Martin. The Longhorns were able to limit that probability to a mere 2.2, as holding them to 4 on 15 on third downs and 0-3 on fourth downs. Leon Lefau and Michael Taft both had whales of a game, combined for 13 total tackles and 6 solo tackles. Oh, and by the way, UT did this all without Colin Simmons having a quiet performance, illustrating the defense's versatility on the cover and run off the ball defense.
Now, it sounds like our defense was on fire. Now, after the game, Arch Manning said it himself in the post-game press conference that he knew he could do better. What do you think we need to see from the team this week so we know we can see this better play in Saturday's game?
I think I would emphasize the most if I'm Kyle Flores becoming more efficient in the pass game. UT only had 114 passing yards, with Ryan Wingo leading the pack with an abysmal 32 yards on 3 catches. UT should hone in on creating one-on-one matchups, utilizing their wideouts in return. Ryan Wingo is a 5-star wide receiver coming out of high school. There should be no reason why he has 97 yards going into Week 4. UT is currently 88th in passing efficiency. Last season, Ohio State won the national championship by both having Emeka Ibuka and Jeremiah Smith going well over 1,000 yards in the air. Meanwhile, 0-3 Sam Houston State has allowed their opponents to average 367 yards in the air alone. And with top running backs C.J. Baxter and Quintravion Wisner out with lingering injuries, this presents a great opportunity for you to explore the passing game. This is the last game for Arch to really prove himself, as he has to play difficult competition against Florida and Oklahoma the next couple of weeks. Good luck with that.
I agree. Arch really has his work cut out for him this week. Now, on the topic of SEC opponents, we only have one more game before we start conference play. What do you think we need to see from the team in practice and on the field for us to be ready to face the Gators?
Well, Florida's defense is quite impeccable. In fact, they're 16th in the nation overall defensive efficiency. Just this past Saturday, they held LSU quarterback Garrett Nussmeier, who's a Heisman candidate in his own right, to 15 of 27 on passing attempts with a staggering 55% in completion percentage and I think a 43% in QBR. The key for UT is enhancing the pass game, especially with the wideout position. If I'm Coach Sark, I would focus more on running RPOs, and more QB design trick plays on the field and off the field. What made UT so fun to watch was the fact that they would create methods of trickery to allow wide receivers like Matthew Golden and Isaiah Bond to make prolific catches in opponent territory. Even though UT lost a plethora of phenomenal players, guys like Jade Barron, Big Al Collins, and Andrew McCuba, I'm not worried about them at all. In fact, Quinn Ewers finished 65% in the completions last season. Arch Manning has to do even better than that, what Ewers did last season. So again, I would reiterate, if I'm UT, that they have to get better in the passing column. And that doesn't mean Arch Manning has to be perfect for UT to beat a Florida team or an Oklahoma team that has two strong defenses in the nation, but that he does have to be flawless against non-Power 4 conference teams such as San Houston State and San Jose State.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Now let's send it back to Nat at the desk.
Solid work, Aidan. When College Press Box returns, we will take a deep dive into Texas volleyball's matchup this past Sunday. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Welcome back to College Press Box. On Sunday, Texas volleyball swept number 9 Arizona State in their first home game in Gregg this season. Our very own reporter Larry Liu was there. Let's take a look at her coverage of the game.
The Longhorns are back at Gregg Gym, this time facing the Arizona State Sun Devils. It was a strong start for Texas. They kept a lead throughout the first set. The gap was even 17-11 at one point. They ended off the first with a score of 25-18. Things got close in the second. 13 ties. It was like a tug of war. Texas was tailing behind Arizona throughout the first bit, but finally broke away in the end. The score ended 30-28. Into the third set, the Longhorns got that lead again, but it's even bigger. Tori Stafford is just getting her kills in. She makes 5 out of her 12 kills in the set. The game ended 25-15. The Longhorns stay undefeated.
Now let's go over to Nat with Larry herself to dive deeper into this game.
Thanks, Emma. I'm here with Larry Liu to talk more about this special Texas team. Welcome to the show, Larry.
Thanks for having me.
Fans really showed out last week against Stanford, and this week was no different. The Longhorns looked to extend their streak against ranked opponents to 5-0. What were the expectations going into this game?
So Texas is ranked number 2, while Arizona is ranked number 9. The last time these two teams met was all the way back in 2014, where the Longhorns won 3-0. That's exactly what happened Sunday. The undefeated Longhorns set the pace with a dominant start.
True, the Longhorns kept a steady lead in the first set, but started to waver a bit in the second set. What happened?
They really fought it out. The teams were really neck and neck for a while, but freshman Taylor Harvey and Kari Spears took it home. They squeaked through with that last contested point by Spears. That was actually the highest scoring set for Texas in the season so far. The game ended just like it started. The Longhorns kept a strong lead. They had a perfect game, a 3-0 win.
What a game it was indeed. That was the Horns' 5th ranked win this season. Let's talk about some of the star players of the game.
Kari Spears, 18 kills, man. That's a career high. She got 5 of those in the second set, which really helped keep the Longhorns up even when Arizona gained the momentum in set 2. And you know what? She's only a freshman. Can't forget about Tori Stafford. She was bleeding her team in the first for a bit, but also helped pull through the third set with 5 kills. The last time Texas came in the season with 6-0 was in 2022. We'll see how this continues Wednesday with TCU.
That'll do it for here. Thanks again for joining us, Larry. Back to you, Emma.
Thank you, Nat and Larry. When College Press Box returns, we'll talk about Texas soccer for the first time on College Press Box this year. You won't want to miss it.
Welcome back to College Press Box. It's time to talk about Texas soccer as they have started SEC play. Let's send it over to Emma for more.
Thanks, Nat. I'm here with Penelope to talk Texas soccer. So how's it going, Penelope?
I'm doing great, Emma. Happy to be here.
Okay, great. Let's get right into talking about the game. Now, unfortunately, the SEC opener did not go how the Longhorns wanted, and they fell short to Missouri 3-1. What exactly went wrong for the Longhorns on Sunday?
Well, Missouri struck first, and then neither team was really able to generate much offense for the rest of the first half. The Tigers opened the second half with an early cross and tap-in, putting the Longhorns at a 2-0 hole by the 56th minute, and then Texas freshman Ava McDonald scored her first collegiate goal in the 81st minute to cut the deficit to 2-1, giving the spark of hope to the Longhorns. But it proved to be too little too late, as just 3 minutes later, Missouri then buried a header and any chance of us coming back.
Sounds like a slow day on offense. Was Texas creating chances to score?
Absolutely, we just weren't finishing them. Texas had 12 shots as opposed to Missouri's 10, but only 2 were on target, and obviously only 1 went in. So we really need to get better at testing the keeper if we want to compete in the SEC.
So despite the loss, was there anything positive Texas can take from this match?
100%. One thing that stood out to me was the resilience of this team. The fight that we showed against such a strong opponent was really encouraging to watch, and even after going down 2-0, the Longhorns kept a high intensity, which led to a goal by a promising young talent. So I'm really excited about Ava, and this is just the beginning for her. And it really is just the beginning for this whole squad, because this was only the first conference game, and there's plenty of bright spots that we have to look up to in Thursday's matchup against Mississippi State.
Well, thank you, Penelope. Now back to you at the desk, Nat.
Thanks, Emma and Penelope. When we return to College Press Box, we'll take a look at this past week in Longhorn sports and see what's ahead. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Welcome back to College Press Box. Let's take a look at this past week in Longhorn sports. 7 former Longhorns will be representing their countries at the 2025 Rowing World Championships. These athletes include Lisa Godefish competing for Germany, Parker Illingsworth competing for Canada, and Kate Kipton, Sophia Caprese, Ida Carpenter, Anna Jensen, and Rachel Rain competing for Team USA. This means that 5 total Longhorns will be competing for the USA. This is the most of any college program.
In their opening tournament, the number 2 ranked Texas women's golf team finished 4th at the Annika Intercollegiate, tying with Northwestern. The Longhorns were led by junior Farrah O'Keefe, who tied for 5th on the leaderboard. Senior Angela H. and Cindy Hsu also made contributions, with both of them tying for 10th.
The defending national champions Texas softball and the defending SEC champions Texas baseball have both released their fall schedules. Softball has 5 games in their fall lineup, including a matchup against rival Texas A&M. All of these games will be at home with free admission. Texas baseball only has 2 games in their fall lineup, where they'll be playing Texas Tech away and Lamar University at home.
Now let's take a look at this week in Longhorn sports. Wednesday, September 17th, volleyball will take on TCU. Thursday, September 18th, soccer will take on Mississippi State. Friday, September 19th, volleyball will take on Baylor. Saturday, September 20th, football will take on Sam Houston. And Sunday, September 21st, soccer will take on Alabama at Alabama.
And that will conclude this week's episode of College Press Box. Thank you for tuning in, and as always, please make sure to tune into our other sports shows this week, including College Crossfire, Wednesdays airing at 9 p.m., and the 1-0 Sports Show on Fridays at 11 a.m. Also, we invite you to follow our Instagram, X, TikTok, and YouTube at the handle TSTV Sports. Thank you to everyone, our analysts, and everyone in Master Control, our executive producer, Kendall Ogar, and all of our reporters in TSTV Sports. I'm Emma Wallace. She's Natalya Shelton. Thank you for watching, and have a good night.